Hello artists, and welcome to day 100 of the epic journey. We're in triple figures. It's amazing. Thanks for joining me. We're going to be starting the contemporary portrait today. Now I'm doing a portrait, yes, because it's my thing to do. I just love portraiture. I think what I need to concentrate on talking to you about contemporary work is that I think the hallmark of contemporary work is it is so intensely personal. You're not necessarily painting for anybody but yourself. You know, for that reason I've chosen to do portraiture. I did consider doing maybe a landscape or something because I hate to bombard you guys with nothing but portraiture. So I do like to mix it up a little bit. But by the same token, the hallmark of contemporary work is that it is so personal. So decided rather to do a portrait because, you know, frankly, that is where my heart is. I'm doing a portrait of my youngest daughter, who complains bitterly that I don't do enough paintings of her and far too many of her sister. So for sake of keeping the peace, I've got to do some work of Siobhan. Now what's going to happen with this canvas if I do it right? The portrait of Siobhan is almost going to creep up on us. It's not going to suddenly be there. So out of chaos is slowly but surely the features and the definition is going to emerge. So now I've got a photograph of Siobhan in front of me, and I'm trying not to paint what I see but to paint what I feel. Now in preparation for that, what I would have done, or what I have done, I actually spent most of the day today just sitting looking at this photograph, because I'm not necessarily looking at it about how to draw it. I'm not looking at the lines, I'm not looking at the values, you know, all those things that we talk about in art. Now obviously she's my daughter, and there's a lot of maternal feelings that go into considering her. And at the end of the painting, that may or may not come through, because again, it's, you know, it's what the viewer gets out of the painting and what the artist puts into the painting may well be two very different things, and we've each got our own frame of reference by which we judge what we're looking at. So this is sort of an instinctive type of painting. I'm not considering every brush stroke, I'm not planning things down to the nth degree. I'm kind of being a bit expressive, trying to paint from an emotional place. And the consideration, you know, when I consider where I'm going to put my brushstroke, it's not only about the construction of this face, but also about the character of this kid that I'm painting. But by the same token, it's also not thoughtless. I'm not just winging it and throwing around color on the canvas. You know, there is a certain amount of consideration that does go into where I'm putting value, but obviously because it's, you know, I'm trying to paint something that's representative, but I'm not getting bogged down by all the minute little details. Everything is big, broad and generalized at this point, and then slowly but surely it will coalesce. Hopefully, if I do it right, it'll coalesce into Siobhan's face. And you know, the thing about portraiture, about this type of painting, is the mark making. We're not worried about brush strokes, and we're not worried about getting everything perfect and smooth. And at the end of the painting, this must be a painting of expression. This is about expressing the essence of what goes on inside of me relative to what I'm painting, and in this case, like I said, it's my kid. Now I'm not going to delve too much into the technical side of things because I'm actually not doing anything unusual. I'm not doing any special technique. I'm not mixing my paints in a special way. This is nothing that we haven't spoken about before in previous episodes of the epic journey. The only thing that I did ensure that I stayed away from was actually drawing the face on. So the only thing that I did was measure, and you might have seen me do it in the video, measured where the top of her hairline, the bottom of her chin, and the extreme left hand side or her right hand side of her face is, just to make sure that I got the top, bottom, left and right side of her face in correctly. Other than that, I did not make a mark on my canvas to actually draw in the features, because I want these features to emerge. I don't want to do this whole coloring in the lines thing. Now the thing with contemporary painting is that it encompasses so much. It can be everything from this that you're seeing on your screen now to this which you're seeing on your screen now. Now the second one is a landscape, lots of brush strokes, the kind of thing that really gets my mouth watering. The first one is a very sort of Miro inspired piece. Two completely different works, and contemporary work seems to encompass everything, all of that, and everything in between. So this is not about technique. This is not about a step-by-step instruction on how to do something. This is almost an encouragement to really start to submit to one's instinctive reaction to the canvas. I have a friend who describes it as a conversation. You're having a conversation with your canvas, and she also talks about it being a chess game. You make a move, you stand back, you have a look, and your canvas communicates to you what the next move is. So it's this communication that you're in all the time with you and your canvas. Yeah, so this is not a tutorial about how to. It's like I said, there's no step-by-step instructions here. This is an encouragement to dig deep inside yourself and to start to almost concede control to the right side of your brain and just start to get loose and start to get expressive and allow the painting to emerge out of the canvas rather than enforcing your will onto the canvas. So I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to get every tiny little brush stroke out or every tiny little proportion perfect. That will come with time. At the end of this painting, this is going to be representative and it's going to look like Siobhan, and it's going to be considered quite carefully, but it is not going to be forced, if that makes sense to you. And to me, and it's a very personal thing, to me that is the hallmark of what I'm trying to achieve in my contemporary work. So follow me to the end of this painting. It will be great to have you. It might take a little longer than most of the paintings, I'm not sure. I tend to be a little bit quick, but I'm going to try not to be very direct with this one, as I do with all the contemporary work that I do. So please really like and share and keep coming back day after day to follow this contemporary piece, and I will see you tomorrow in day 101. We're in the triple figures. Bye. That's what you want to do.